Cool, I started the recording. So does anybody, before we get started, anyone have any main questions they had from the book? Or does anybody have any thoughts, concerns, anything you enjoyed from the chapter?
I didn't finish the chapter. I'm sorry. Please forgive me.
I don't even have the book. So.
It's online.
Okay.
It's free.
It is free.
Hold on. I'll get the link.
Yes, thank you. It's okay, I forgave you.
Thank you. See, what are we on? Do you want... I'll just send a link to the chapter we're on.
Okay. I think we're probably good to go then, because I don't hear anything. So this chapter is on modules, and so far we've done everything in one file. We've done everything in one module. An important distinction is that files are not modules in Rust necessarily, which is a good distinction in my mind. So if once we break things into modules, we can hide implementation details from other modules, avoid name collisions, group related code, etc. And this will give us a good use case. I remember we were talking about why would we make a constructor function, and this will give us a good use case. Maybe you don't want to make all of the fields public, but you still want to construct your function. Or sorry, construct your struct. We can finally do
that
things
10 times
rightly.
fast.
Construct a struct. I'm not going to say it 10 times fast because that's a rabbit hole. I won't fall for your tricks.
No, but can someone type it? Literally not parsing your words.
Type what? Construct a struct?
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so the first piece that we need to look at for our module system is not modules, but we need to look a bit higher. So if we go to our cargo toml, we'll see that this is called a package. And that's just a collection of crates, and every single package needs at least one crate in it. But those crates could be 0 or 1 library crates, or 0 to infinity binary crates. And a binary is what we've been making so far, just something that compiles to an executable, and a library is more reusable in its functionality, meant to be shared and used by other crates. So here we have multiple binaries. We have main.rs, which is the default. When you do cargo new, it creates a binary. If you do cargo new, so to make this, I did cargo new chapter 7. I should make this a lot bigger. So cargo new chapter 7 to make this, but if I wanted a library crate, I could do -- lib, and that would have just created this lib.rs file. But instead I created this myself. But yeah, here is that. And then in bin we have coolcrate.rs, which is another binary that we can also run. And we can have as many binary crates in here as we'd like. Any questions so far?
So just to clarify, in that bin folder, it's a binary. The file itself is a binary crate. It's not a binary itself, right?
It is not a binary itself. We would find the binaries in here, in our target folder, but it is not a binary itself, no.
But it's like those binaries in your target folder are built from that file, basically. Is that how it works pretty much? Or like that's like the starting point, I guess.
I'm not sure if I've built this yet. Cargo build.
Like, would you get an individual binary out of each file in that bin folder? I guess is my question.
Oh yeah, there's an individual binary. So if we wanna, there's nothing in cool crate as far as I know. I didn't put anything in here, so we could print line something like hello from cool crate, and then in here we can cargo run cool crate, and it says hello from cool crate, and then I keep hitting carbo for some reason. We can run cargo run, and then the name of our main crate is chapter 7. We could also run this, and that runs hello world, which is what is inside of here. So these are multiple binaries that are being produced, and I am not exactly sure where it comes in here.
I think there were a couple like build messages when you ran it. Does that say like where it actually is if you scroll up? Just like
We have, oh yeah, there we go. Target debug cool crate. Okay, so target. Oh yeah, it's all just up in the top level. I was wondering what
okay.
I was thinking was in here, but we have cool crate is our file. We run coolcrate.exe under the hood, and then same thing here. We're running chapter 7 because this is what our crate's
Okay.
called, chapter 7.
Okay.
So yeah,
So
it
we
builds
got
multiple
one for the
binaries.
main RS, and then one for the file in the bin folder.
Yep, exactly.
Okay. Cool.
Probably a little bit of a silly question, but like, are modules like so components from React?
I would say no, because that a component from React is just a function. So a module contains different things like functions, structs, traits, etc. But
Okay.
it isn't necessarily a module itself. So if you think of React, you'd have a file, like maybe you'd call it, I don't know, like list.tsx, and then that would be a module itself, and you could export from that file. But you could have multiple React components within that file, which would be multiple functions that you can export. So it's more like a file in TypeScript, JavaScript.
Okay.
Did that answer your question?
Yeah, it did.
Yep. Okay. Anybody else have any more questions before I move on?
Nope.
Perfect. Okay. So, yep, by convention, main.rs is our crate root. So if we don't specify what it's called, we just say cargo run. Oh, well, actually, we can't because we have multiple binaries. But if we did not have a binary, we would be allowed to run this without specifying chapter 7. But since we have multiple, we do. Well, I can't spell today. I forget how we we ignore warnings. I should definitely check. Okay, because we're looking at lib because we're not using anything in lib right now. Okay, that makes sense. But conventionally, main.rs is our main binary, or crate root, where it starts to look. It's going to look in here, look at all the dependencies being pulled in, all the modules. And right now, if we check, I think it would be like this. I forget.
Said you need another double hyphen before the bin to pass that as a parameter.
I think I just forgot structure.
Oh.
Yeah, I did. Okay, so this takes a little bit of time to run, but we will
Does it
see
build
at the
like
end
a
of this.
tree? of
Yeah, it
your
builds a tree.
modules.
It's a little bit different than cargo tree because that goes through only dependencies, but it builds the modules. Or it doesn't build them, it just looks through them all. So we see here, we have our crate, which has one item, which is function main, and it is public within this crate. And then we could do the same thing for cool crate, and we'd see the same thing because we don't really have anything else. And if we pulled in something from librs, then that would be in this dependency graph as well, which we will get into. But for now, we'll keep it simple. So yeah, when we specify bin, we're just saying we're starting here inside of main.rs, and we will follow any other paths being used and compile those things as well. Does that make sense? Anyone have any questions? Okay, so inside of librs, I have a few different modules to look at. We're going to look at front of house only at this point. And I'm going to fold these so we have some more room. And since we can only have one lib crate, we can just pass -- lib and it knows exactly what to look at. And we will come back to this once it is run. But we have these modules. We can define them either by doing this with curly braces. We could also replace it with mod with a semicolon, replace everything after this point, all of these curly braces, and put it in a different file, which we will get to as well. But for now, for simplicity's sake, we're just going to keep it in one file like this. And yeah, any questions for what's happening here? Okay. So does anyone know what we would have to do if we want to call add to waitlist within eat food? And I will go up here so we can see it. Could we call it right now? If I were to do, or how would I even get this path?
I think you can just use the module name as like a namespace. So it'd be like front of house ::, whatever the function was called. Take
So
order.
front of house, I'm gonna turn
Per
off the
serving.
LSP
Does
real
it
quick.
have to nest into the next module?
So : then what?
Were we looking at take order or add to waitlist?
Pick whichever one you want. Either's fine.
We'll just do waitlist. So hosting, and then another : and then add to waitlist.
And then we can...
And then you can call it as a function with the parentheses.
Okay.
I think it'll let you do that.
And you're saying this will compile?
Oh, well, we still need types.
We need types?
I guess they're all void.
Yeah, these are all valid functions, by the way. These all work.
Okay.
They just take in nothing and return nothing.
Oh, you have a semicolon. Okay, so it doesn't return anything either. Okay, cool. I was thinking it's like, well, it has to return something.
Nope.
I guess it's fine. All void types.
Yep, they're all returning unit.
Or unit type. Yeah. I think it will compile. Module. I'm not sure.
Well, what do you know about the default privacy and
Oh
modules.
no, they're not public, so you can't access them. Oh no.
Yep. So
Probably have to put a
which
pub
ones do we need
keyword.
pub keywords in front of?
In front of house or in front of mod, in front of house. Line 10.
So here.
Yes, line 10. We'll need pub and hosting as well. Yeah, pub mod.
And then this is good.
And then I think we also need it on the function. I think everything's private by default. And if we're just calling that function, I think that's fine.
Okay. And now is a good time to look here because it has finished.
Ooh.
So we have front of house, we have eat food. So we can see if we're correct. So front of house is public within the crate. So just to do this, to see front of house, we don't actually need the pub keyword here. Since they are siblings within this crate, we don't need to. We can access it within this crate. If we were to import it into main, then we would not be able to use anything that's not public. But here, it's totally fine.
Okay.
But
everything like
we're
locally
right about
defined
hosting.
at the same level.
Yep, that's exactly why in all of our other problems, or all of the other code we've written, we haven't had to make everything public. It's all public within the crate, or else it'd be very inconvenient to write public on every single struct and function we define ever.
That makes sense.
So, okay.
If I understand what you said, because we're in the same crate or file here, we can share nicely.
It's because we're in the same module.
Because we're in the same module, we can share nicely. But if we weren't in the same module, we would have to specifically, intentionally share.
Yes, exactly.
Cool beans.
Yep, I will delete these and then turn back on the LSP. And it
I
should.
like that you had to turn off the helper file there.
It's too helpful. It tells us all the answers.
No.
Yep, so we see here we have an error. I'm gonna turn on error lens again. So module hosting is private, so we need to change it to public. We don't have to do this, but we can just say pub. And then add to waitlist is also private, so we need to make this public as well, but not like that. Put it before the function keyword. So now it's all happy. We're allowed to call this file, or we're allowed to call this function at this point. Does that make sense? Anyone have any questions?
Sense to me.
Cool. And then this is pretty helpful because of a few different reasons, but one of them that I mentioned before, all of our implementation details are by default hidden. So we get to define what is our public interface. So we could say add to waitlist is the only thing we want to export, and see that table we don't want to show. Or maybe in here, we're only going to export eat food. None of our modules are public at this point. So the main crate does not have access to anything, but we could just export eat food, and then we don't need to hear anything about any of this front of the house, back of the house stuff. The consumer of our crate doesn't need to know about our implementation details. And if they don't know, it's even better because we're allowed to change it without worrying about breaking our public API.
Cool beans. So because the function and the module were siblings, they share automatically. That doesn't mean they have to share their toys.
Nope.
Cool. I like that. So some of the toys can stay secret still, and other ones have to you can specifically share the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. That's so much control.
That's such a good way of phrasing it. They don't have to share their toys.
Yeah. So at this point, we know how to do this, but there is another way of doing this. And maybe we say our code's going to move around a lot. Right now we have a relative path, but how would we add an absolute path to front of the house or to add to waitlist?
You say the question again?
So right now we have a relative path. This relies on the fact that eat food is a sibling to front of house, but how would we deal with it in the case that they aren't? We decide to move these modules around. We need an absolute path.
Yeah, you start at the crate.
Okay. Crate.
Crate name.
You use crate.
I don't know. Oh, well, I think the use is for like, it makes an alias.
Yeah, we don't have to use right now because the crate is in scope. But if it wasn't, we would have to do that.
So I guess it would be crate and then front of house. Like it would just be everything in the line above, but have a crate in front of it.
And then here's the question here, is front of house accessible to the crate?
Oh no. Look, see, this is why I told you to make it public to begin with. See, with the way I wrote it, it was public.
But how do you know? Are you saying that it isn't? I'm not asking.
Yeah, it's not public to an external crate, and that's how we're referencing it, right?
No, we're referencing it as this crate because this is a library crate.
Yeah, but it's an absolute reference, right?
Yeah, to itself.
But I think you have to make it public. I think you do.
We'll
So
see.
fidgety.
I don't know. I've never like internally referenced a token from a file by starting with crate before. So I don't know, but it would make sense if you had to make it public as if you were starting at like the outside and referencing it in, since you're starting at crate.
I like the find out method. Let's go.
Yeah.
So the answer is it works the exact same because crate here is referring to our library crate. It's referring to librs, which is called chapter 7. We are not calling it from an external crate. This is the current crate we're inside of.
But if we were calling it from an external crate, would we have to make it public?
Let's find out. So now we are in an external crate. We are in main. So how would we go about pulling it in?
Crate.
So if you read the exact same line,
I think it's the
crate,
same line. Yeah.
blah blah blah, front of house, whatever that whole long string was. Would it not work because it's not public?
So this, what are we gonna guess?
Yeah.
It won't work because it's public, or it's not public.
We're
I
in
think
a
it's still gonna
binary
work.
crate. But we're in a binary crate, not the library.
I'm flipping a coin. You can go with not work, and I'll go with work, and we'll find out who's right.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to work. So you better be right, Jan.
I think it's not going to work. I think you have to make it public.
It doesn't work because this is a different crate. We're looking in the crate root, and the crate root here is main.rs, which is the binary crate.
Cool.
So it does not work. So it can't find it here.
Okay. That makes a lot more sense because I don't think before I read the first section of this chapter, I wasn't really thinking of crates as the current file.
But does it now?
So
if you put pub in front of it, will it work?
It should, maybe.
I'm gonna see if we get a fancy compiler thing. Nope, we don't get anything fancier than that. But let's find out.
Also, I've never looked at the book at all.
So in here, will this work?
I guess not. It says no.
Oh, I didn't tell it
Did
to
you
check
say?
again. No, I didn't.
Oh, I mean, I don't know. I'm not willing to commit on this one.
Nope, it doesn't work because
It's still
this is
okay.
referring to itself, which is there's nothing in the scope called front of house in main.
But can we reference like the
Come on, Neon.
is the module the next level up? Like for all of chapter 7 or whatever?
Yeah, the chapter 7 thing.
Is that a module or is it something else?
Is chapter 7 a module? Chapter 7
I'm
is
asking you, I don't know.
a crate.
We're throwing darts at this point.
Okay, look
Come on,
at
Jacob.
let's go back over here. We have this. So if you look here, chapter 7 is a crate with modules within.
Great. Okay.
So but the whole thing
But-
is called a package.
Okay, it's a
Mm.
package. I see.
Package
Okay.
to crate to module.
Indeed.
Now we've got the
okay.
tree.
Okay, cool. Package crate.
Package.
So we
crate,
can't refer to the binary crate,
module.
or we can't refer to the library crate as crate because it's not called crate. How would we access this from lib?
We need to reference the package then. And then the library crate. I assume that's possible, otherwise there's no point in having the like libraries there with the binary. Otherwise you wouldn't be able to reference them. But I don't know like what the syntax. Do you have to use the use keyword?
I believe so.
I love how much
Interesting.
nonsense engineering is. You have
Well-
to use.
I don't think you have to. Let's go back.
'Cause-
You can not do it by referring to the crate name, and it works.
Okay.
Okay.
So the
And you-
crate is called chapter 7. So like just how when in chapter 2 all the way back, we did use rand, we referred to rand as that crate. So
Wait.
this is the crate name.
I'm out.
Wait, crate name and module
Chapter
name.
7 is a crate. Also, like the library file is a crate, and the main RS binary file is a crate.
Yes, right now we have 3 crates, main.rs
How does that?
and lib are both called chapter 7, and cool crate is another crate. So there are 3
Okay,
crates in this
How
project.
chapter 7 let us reference both like local, like how does it let us reference librs if it's the same crate?
They aren't the same crate, they're different crates. One of them's a library crate, and then one of them is a binary crate.
A binary.
So you've got 2 different
Right,
crates.
so
and
which
they're
one does
friends.
chapter 7 refer to?
Oh, in this case, chapter 7 is referring to this file here, librs.
Why? Can I do it the opposite? Can I refer to the binary, like the binary crate as chapter 7 from librs? Or is it like a one-way thing?
I don't believe so.
Okay, so it's like a
Let's
special
find
syntax by the name of the crate to the library. Okay,
Okay, we're gonna
that's what I was
export
confused
pi.
about because it doesn't make.
We'll see if we can do it. No, we can't. I don't think it would make sense to do that anyway, because we want...
It doesn't make sense. I wanted to be clear about the syntax for referencing like one or the other. So like the keyword crate, right, within is
Can we look
chapter
at
7 is the
Liberasian?
crate name, right?
This is... Sorry, can you say that again?
If we look at Liberasian again.
Yep.
You can say real words. How's that sound? You scroll all the way up. I see that chapter 7 is your like folder name. How
Oh,
is
chapter
chapter 7
7.
identified as the librs versus the main RS? I think that's the question. Okay,
Lib
that's how
and
we identified
main
it.
are named after this package name. And they are by default, they're the conventional thing that are just like magic, like main RS. This is the...
So when you call chapter 7, it's going to check both files?
So it's referencing by package at that point.
I need to
Basically.
specify which one I'm building though. If I do cargo build -- lib, then I'm building the lib. But if I do cargo build, there's only one library crate, so it knows exactly which one. But if I do bin, it says we have chapter 7 and cool crate to compile. So chapter 7 is our main.rs. So if I built this, now we've built chapter 7.
Okay. The trick is in the file names.
Yep.
Got it.
But I think... Did it finish? I think it did.
Because I think the question was around how does that line 2, know the difference between librs and main RS?
Oh, in here?
Yeah, like why is chapter 7 referring to librs crate as opposed to like
Instead
the
of
chapter
main RS.
7 binary crate? And it's just like that's just what it does by default. If you give the name of the package, it refers to the library crate.
Yeah, there's
like what if we
nothing
didn't
in
have a
scope
library
here.
crate? What if this was entirely a binary crate, but we defined a front of house module within this file and then called chapter 7 front of house? Like, can you do that? Would it default to refer to itself like the chapter 7 binary crate as opposed to the library?
We can have front of house, and then let's add hi. So if we do this, chapter 7 front of house is still the same, but here to refer to this we can either type front of house or and then hi for a relative path, or we could do crate to refer to itself, crate front of house hi, or we could do super front of house hi to refer to the module directly above. Well, actually, I don't think we can do that. It might need to be in a module. Like if I put it in here, does it work? Yeah, it's okay with this. So it has to be within a module. But yep, crate refers to chapter 7, which is this file itself. But other chapter 7 refers to some external crate.
Okay, so chapter 7, because you're referring back to the package, means by default not me.
Yep, it refers to an external file because we can't really, like, there's nothing called chapter 7 within the crate chapter 7 because we're already in chapter 7, and we could create a module called chapter 7, but then it just gets messy here.
That would be sloppy and unfortunate.
We could do this. We have chapter 7, but it's going to say, I don't know what this is.
Yeah, so
And
now you've messed everything up.
It refers to...
Now it's upset about it.
Yep, it's like, what is hosting? I don't know what that is. But we are allowed to call hi on here.
I love it when we break things on purpose.
Well, this has to be pub. So yeah, this all works now as chapter 7. There's a module called chapter 7 in scope that we can access. We can still access the other chapter 7, but doing this just makes it, we have to specify which one we're talking about. We could do crate, or we can do another chapter 7.
So if you were going to do that professionally, everyone would be just very upset at you.
There are definitely cases where you have the same name, but it doesn't make sense to create a module called the same module you're importing, where you could definitely do it.
Well, you could, but that would be unfortunate.
Yeah, this still refers to this. Could I alias it potentially? Nope, because now we have a completely separate module in here with the same name. So if you do that, the answer is just like, why would you do this, and please don't do it, I'm guessing.
That's what I meant by unfortunate.
It is a thing you can do, but do we want to do it? I don't know.
Now things have gone terribly awry. It will let you, but please, please don't.
And let's get the structure for chapter 7 again, because I lost that.
We did it, Neon.
So we will create that again. And we'll come back to it.
Thank you, Jacob. That was extremely educational.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so we have main here. Does it actually not? Did I forget to save? No, it does. Okay. Maybe I need to use it to see if it works. So we can say maybe we don't want this whole path and alias it, which you could also use magic code actions for. And let's see if it recognizes that one. And while we're here, I just used use, which is how we can shorten up our path. Okay,
I love
seems
it.
like it does not do that. And in this case, we could just go all the way to the function, but for whatever reason, it isn't idiomatic to do so. It makes more sense to do it this way because, you know, hosting is not a part of this module, or add to waitlist is not a part of the module by default, and you're aware of that. But if you do something like I want to use a hash map, so if I grab it from standard collections hash map, then it's more typical to just leave it here. And it doesn't like that it doesn't know what it is. So we're gonna make one with I32.
You're just upsetting it so much.
It does not like. There we go. Yay, it's so happy now, except for we're not using the hash map that we're making, which of course makes no sense. But for the example.
Yeah, it's only a little upset now.
So we have made this hash map. So yeah, it's just by convention that this is the case. But if we're pulling in functions, you want to grab the module. But if you're pulling in some struct or enum or something that's not a function pretty much, then you'll typically qualify the whole path.
Well, you could do the whole function too, right? Or do you just mean like
You could.
convention wise because you usually want like more functions or something?
You definitely can. It's just convention that you don't do it to make it clear that this is add to waitlist is coming from hosting on a glance. But it's not the case for hash map.
structs, it's not.
Nope.
Okay.
And there's no real reason why. It's just like that.
Because I thought it was a good idea.
Mm-hmm. We can also scope all of these uses as well. We could scope it within main. So if I try to use a hash
Cool.
map somewhere else,
That's what I was hoping you were going to say, because what if I have a bunch of them?
I can try to use a hash map here, but it's going to be like, what is... Oh, well, maybe it's okay with it. I'll just take this. Oh no, it's happy with that. Oh no, it's because it's up
Love
here.
it.
I copy pasted
Yeah.
it. Okay,
Oh,
now it
yeah.
doesn't like it. Great, perfect. So it says nope. And then how you do that is also, it's pretty much preference at that point. But if you have a ton of these, use chapter hosting. Oh, well, yeah, I'm defining the same name a ton of times.
Wait, why is the hash map in main okay?
Oh, you're allowed to
Oh,
put use
I
statements
didn't. I
wherever.
missed. I missed the local use
Mhm.
hash map. Okay.
Let's just use a bunch of stuff. We want hash map. We also want a B-tree map. B-tree map. What else do we want? B-tree set.
All the maps.
Whoa, we have a ton of imports. And in your editor, typically you can fold all these if you don't want to look at them. But we do have...
I want
other
collections star. I want all of them.
That's a good thing to bring up. We'll go over it in like 2 seconds after this. So what if we don't want to look at all of these and have a ton of use statements in a row? How could we compress this a little bit?
Use the star, Luke.
Without a glob import, how do we do it?
Ugh, I guess you could. I guess you could put brackets. Curly braces.
I like the
Exactly.
exasperated
I want them
sound.
all.
I'm so into it.
Yep, we can
You can put them in.
we can merge all of the imports into one. Like this with
Hooray.
brackets. And if we wanted something else out of it, like we want to import, I don't know if there's anything else off here, or I guess we would want to, like, let's say we also want standard alloc, I guess. We could also merge these as well. And now we have even more. And that's up to you if you think that looks good or not. But
I'm good. So I can just format it however it makes me happy.
yeah, you can do it however, but it also kind of auto formats. Like I didn't do that. It puts in alphabetical order, so that's great. I like that.
Does it, or is that some extension you have?
No, it just does that. It's part of the formatter that's built in, as far as I know.
I think, yeah, depending on your editor, you might have to run like cargo format or something.
Oh yeah, I do have the formatter set up to happen on a keybind for me.
Oh, I think I usually run it on save. Like you can configure it just to do it every time you save the file. But yeah, it's handy.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because my VS Code isn't just raw right now.
Okay, so we have all this, but we could also do our favorite thing.
Yes. Import them all.
We can just import star. And then it formatted itself. We can import star, so we can, instead of all this, we can just go B-tree map. B-tree set. But what are some of the downsides of doing it like that?
I don't see any downsides.
Okay, there's no downsides. This is the way to do it. We should really just be...
Yes. It clutters your namespace a bit, especially if you're using lots of other modules.
We can't glob import all crates. Why not?
What?
That's so sad. Oh, the quick fix just says
ruin the rest of my day right there.
This is so sad. We can't fix it. Oh, there's a cool compiler diagnostic. Oh, it just tells us no.
Would you like this error formatted more nicely?
I was wondering if it gave me more hints or was like, hey, here's why you can't do that. But it's just like, no, you can't import every crate there is.
Yeah, it's like now with brackets.
So yeah, it can pollute your namespace, for one. And it's kind of tough to know where everything's coming from. There's another one. I mean, I'm not going to get too deep into it. I was about to go down a rabbit hole.
Some people don't have like creative naming conventions, so maybe you don't want to do that.
Or yeah, you just import a ton of stuff. Like everything from standard is now in the global scope.
Yeah, that feels like it could be confusing.
It would be indeed. There are cases where you would want a glob import. And what do you think about that? Is there anything you can think of that would be glob imported typically?
I mean, nothing like typically.
Public items.
Just what? I mean,
Did you say
basically
something?
anything. Yeah, what'd you say? I didn't hear what you said.
I just said public items.
Like you typically glob import all public items?
What do you mean by public items?
Anything defined within the file path.
I don't.
No, that's a good question. Like, if you do a glob import, would it only import all the public items, or would it import private ones too?
Yeah, it can only ever like public items that are marked as public from external modules.
Yep.
But the star would import all of them. Like you can now reference all of them instead of like the specific ones. But like typically, I don't know. Like I would usually only use it on a very nested level of namespaces. Like if you're down a couple levels and there's just like a few functions from a module, it's like sure, just import them all if you're going to use some of them. But
okay, cool. I think that was what JD was saying then, right?
That's not what I was going for, but I have other things.
I have other thing.
I have other things in mind. Those are, I would say, anything like a prelude would make sense to do, but you do need to keep in mind that if your crate updates, it could be a breaking change, because if we're using hosting here, and then we have some prelude that decides to add hosting to their public API, now we have a collision and your code doesn't compile, because it doesn't know which one's which.
Well, but you don't like alter the prelude very often, do you? Like, isn't that just like, I guess you can, but don't you usually just use the default prelude from Rust, like with some of the standard library stuff?
Some utility things are use a prelude, and you might just want to import everything.
Like what?
I will look up some crates with prelude. But yeah, it's typically just a subset of things that you would typically use. So like, yeah, the actual Rust prelude, the standard prelude. Oh, okay, there's one for Actix.
I don't know what that is.
It's a server framework. So looking here, Actix prelude there's a lot of imports for common traits, so it just imports all these traits for you. So we have all of whatever these are.
Oh, I see.
Just all here.
Yeah. And those are things that you would use with the rest of the Actix trait, like for defining types and adding traits to particular like structures or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not sure because I haven't used Actix, but it seems like these would be common traits that you're going to import, and then you might import all of these in every file or something.
Yeah. Would you need to do that? So like I can see how that might make sense for like a lot of types. Like if the crate you're using has like a lot of like specific types that you need to like write your own functions around it. Do you need to do a prelude for that?
You don't necessarily have to. You can import all of these yourself. Like you could do Actix utils condition all this.
But those would usually be where you'd want the glob, because there might be a lot of them, like types to other things.
Yeah, Actis has said that these are all common imports that you might want to have, like all of these traits. You might just want it here. So it makes sense to import them all at once.
So is the like prelude namespace for crate just a convention, or is it special in some way?
It's a convention.
Okay.
The standard prelude's the only one that is just magically imported. All the rest of them you have to do explicitly.
Okay. Cool. I thought there was something special about preludes that
Nope, just Rust's own.
were out there. Okie dokie.
The one other one that I thought of is test modules. Like you'll typically do superstar for everything, so you can use all of the functions within the upper module.
Are those like test variations or?
Oh, these are just
functions, I
tests.
guess?
Like this is
No,
how you
I mean like the super glob. Does that pull in stuff like?
it pulls in everything from the like the scope, the parent scope. So here
Oh, so
refers
it
to
pulls in
chapter
everything
7.
from your like the crate you're working on, so that you can test it.
Yeah, you could explicitly pull
Okay.
everything in, but you might not want to do that. And here's another good use
I
case
see.
for tests. Like if you pull in test utilities, if you just have them in your top level scope, they'll get compiled into your binary. But here, these only run with a test compilation.
Cool.
So that is another use case. Any questions around any of that? Okay. I think we're pretty good to get into some more.
Oh no, by DevD.
So let's get into an example because we're getting a little rabbit holey here. So we found out how to grab both of these, but what about for structs? We have this enum here. So what if we want to access, oh no, I already made it public. Ooh. But what if I want to access soup and salad? Can I just do that within my function here, eat food? Like if I want to set x to soup, the soup variant, can I just do that?
Could you scroll back up? Yes. You would reference back of house, :: appetizer, and then the variant you want. And since appetizer is set to public, you should be fine.
So back of house, appetizer, and salad. I don't know if that's what I said, but yep, exactly right. Since appetizer is public itself, we can just use it. All of the variants are public. It would be a little bit annoying if you had to make each variant public as well, because when you do an enum, you want to see if it's one of any of these variants. But what about for breakfast?
What about breakfast?
Good question. What if I wanted to make a breakfast struct? Could I just build a breakfast struct? Like if I go to here and I say back of house, of course I can get breakfast. And can I construct this?
You scroll back up.
Can I construct it typically without a method? Just set the value for toast and seasonal fruit?
Think so. So I think the way this would work is we've set the struct breakfast as public. You can then like create the structure with just like the structure creation syntax brackets. And then you're going to define whatever those parameters were.
I'd split screen so you
No,
can see
wait.
both now.
Oh, okay. But then you wouldn't be able to access the seasonal fruit, right? So you could still access breakfast because it's public, and you could access toast because it's public. But after its creation, you wouldn't be able to access seasonal fruit from the object that's created.
Okay, so after creation, I would not be able to access, but I'm able to construct it.
I think so.
Do we have any other opinions from the crowd? Does everyone agree?
Let's try it.
Yeah, let's go for it. Let's eat delicious toast.
Let's see what we can break.
The toast should be buttery.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And
you.
yam, please.
And yam.
Buttery
as
and
the seasonal
jammy.
fruit. Oh, buttery and jammy.
Yeah, buttery and jammy. Yeah.
I am unhelpful. I'm
And
so
crispy.
sorry.
Buttery and jammy and crispy.
Okay, that's the final thing. What about our fruit?
Cantaloupe.
Good choice.
I don't even like cantaloupe that much. But it's seasonal, so
Cantaloupe. We already have an error.
cantaloupe. That's
Has
Oh,
nothing on honeydew.
So the field is private. We're not allowed to touch this field.
Oh no. Interesting.
So what can we do? We can change it to public. But do we
Can you
want
can
to
you
do
just
that?
leave out the seasonal fruit to construct it, or does it not let you since you don't have,
Nope.
Yeah, you're missing an item. Interesting.
We're missing the field. That was the point I was trying to get across a few sessions ago, I think, with why you would want a new constructor. Because if it's a private field, you're not allowed to use the private field.
I see. So yeah, with a new constructor, you can still pass in the properties and create the object. That makes sense.
So how would we do that? Looking at the implementation over here, how could we create a breakfast struct? And can we with what we have right now?
Wait, what am I looking at? This function summer. Oh, summer is the constructor. Okay, that's weird. Yeah. Just call breakfast colon summer and then pass buttery and jammy and crispy
Okay.
as a string.
Oh no.
I think you might have been better off just typing
Scan.
completely new.
No, it's okay. I could have done it. Everything is so wrapped, it's hard to tell what's on the same line. Okay, perfect. So this works, and we can create it. It's totally happy. This works. And yep, this is just a review.
First try.
Typically, this is the constructor is called new if we're making just whatever implementation we want. But here we have a custom constructor where we're making a summer breakfast. And in the summer, you get peaches as the seasonal fruit. And you can get buttery and jammy and crispy or whatever kind of toast you would like.
Or all of the above.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yep, so this makes it so you don't even have to think about implementation details. There could be like 10 more fields on here that we don't get to access. Like maybe the price per loaf of bread of toast or something. But we don't need to expose that to the customer or whoever's using this. Okay. So, getting into something else. Oh, did I ever pull? Oh, I pulled the module in. But we should pull in eat food. How would I pull in eat food to main?
No, you just deleted
Can't.
everything, huh?
Yep.
You can't do it. You can't do it. It's impossible.
Oh, it's impossible. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, session's over.
Did Neon just say no?
Well, I was being funny because eat food isn't public, so you can't actually import it yet.
How would we go about using it?
So Neon says you have to make it public first.
That is true.
I'm
You're
just
not
gonna-
allowed to eat.
I'm just
Nope.
No eating for you.
Okay, what about now? What can we do? How do we use it within main?
You probably want to
I
have a
I feel like-
use statement. Just say use.
There was that whole colon situation from before.
Are we in main? We're in main. So
Yes.
we would give our crate name, which is chapter 7 still, I think.
Yes.
And you could do : and get food like the LSP. Thank you very much.
Now we can eat some food.
Right.
Oh, that was so much more polite than the previous
Yay.
colon situations.
It works.
Yeah.
Well, luckily, we don't have to deal with the colon situations. There's fancy ways we can re-export things.
Oh, good, because it was starting to feel like a lot.
I'm gonna.
Oh, wait, can we store these things into variables so that I don't have to type so much?
I don't believe so. I don't think you can store a
No,
module
but
in a
you did say
variable.
that there was a fancy way we could do exports, so
Yeah, we can
that
re-export.
sounds like something I'm going to want.
Yeah, we'll get into it. No, why doesn't it show me? Oh, it's because I'm looking. Am I looking at the right thing? Oh,
I
well.
wouldn't know.
I'm just gonna redo it and then hope it changes sometime because I keep forgetting. But oh well. So we have.
Why are your numbers so upsetting?
The numbers. You mean the relative line? The absolute
Yeah.
line,
Oh,
and
it
then there's a
goes
relative
up,
line.
up, and then it goes down.
Oh.
Well, yeah, because if I want to go to 11 lines
Oh.
up, I type 11k, and now I'm up there. If I want to go 10 down, I'm here.
Yes, but I can't see what you're typing, so that doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, I am using
The
relative
curse
line.
of all Vim user.
Yes. The answer is you should learn Vim, and then you will understand.
Well, it would probably be a lot less upsetting if I could see what you were typing.
Okay.
Yeah. Where's our called green key?
There you go.
Yes,
I want screen
okay.
key.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that actually is so much better. Thank you.
Oh, well, now you know. You can look at all of my Vim bindings and make fun of me for
I'll
not
be
doing
silently
this.
judging you on the sideline.
No, don't do it. Okay.
No, I love key bindings and I love shortcut keys and everything. They make me very happy.
Oh, I use all of them.
I want the keyboard
Wow, imagine
magic.
spamming J and K just to scroll through the. I'm sorry, I'll stop.
Fine, I'll do.
It could be worse. You could be using a mouse,
That's true.
It's true, absolutely true.
right? So put the shame back in the box.
It has been a little inconvenient that my cursor is always in the middle of the screen, but I don't know. Works for me. Okay, but let's
You
say
can
Also,
change
no
that.
shame for anyone who's using a mouse still. That was terrible. I'm so sorry.
I mean, it was inconvenient for me here because my screen is giant, but it's typically not inconvenient when I'm actually working with regular size screen.
You can probably close that side panel now if you want some more space. Honestly, I was just
No, we're gonna
I
leave it
kept
open.
having you scroll back up because I couldn't remember any of the module names and functions.
So we're gonna do it again, but we're gonna re-export something from here. So like maybe in main RS we're consuming this crate, but we don't care. We're like, I don't care if anything's in the front of the house or back of the house, and that's just confusing. I just want to know about serving. So how would we go about sending over and re-exporting the serving module from the chapter 7 crate?
Don't know. Is there an export keyword? I don't know what you mean by export.
Export? Or you just
Can
say
you
pub?
do like can you just say pub serving ::*?
No, because it doesn't know what serving is, because it's not a top level module.
Right, you would have
it's
to use
not.
a path to
You'd
get
have
there, right?
you'd have to use the path. Yeah, I didn't realize it was second level. Is it front of house?
You can
Yeah,
see
no, you
it
can see like it's
here.
indented.
Like if you look up here, I have it sticky, so it'll
Oh,
say
that's okay.
here's pub
I wasn't
mod front
sure
of house,
what that
mod
was.
serving.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know what
so-
it was either.
front of
It was
house,
just
then
confusing.
So if I go down here, you can see.
I didn't know. How did you do that? I didn't even know
That's
you could
magic.
Whoa, it's magic. How
It's
did I do it?
magic.
I don't know.
Tell us your secrets.
We can get into it later. We're not going down the rabbit hole right now. This is like almost the end. We'll get to it afterwards.
You just
It
give
is
us a
setting on
document.
VS Code.
We almost got him. We're this close.
Okay.
You've been on a few and he didn't even notice, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's similar to something like this with
So we'll
Great.
need the whole like : situation, right? With
Yeah.
the whole like, I don't know. Since we're still in the same file though, we don't need to start with crate, do we?
No, it should just be the front of house.
Right? We just do the front of house :
Why? I don't think we need use, do we?
and then serving.
Oh, I don't know. Let's delete
no,
it.
it
We
says
probably
it's
don't need it.
unresolved. Do you need use? You shouldn't need use, right? And we have a syntax error. Is it that colon nonsense at the end?
The colon, the semicolon.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
What's the
The
syntax
asterisk.
error?
No, the syntax error is
Yeah,
it's
fix it,
expecting a
Neon.
bang because we are not using the use keyword.
Oh,
Oh no,
why?
the pub keyword may also be used for a use declaration to re-export an identifier from namespace. I wonder what that means. I wonder if we should do that.
Huh. How about that? I guess you do
Whoa,
need
would
the
you look at
use
that?
keyword.
And then our issue
That's
here is
strange.
just our module is not public.
Okay, so that's interesting. So putting the pub keyword at the front is
Right.
basically it's not a local use statement. So you're not like importing from front of house serving into this file. You're sending it to another file because the pub keyword.
No, we're
Well,
doing
it's because
both.
the siblings are available.
they're already
they don't
there.
have
It
to share
already-
their toys.
But like, can we use serving now in this file because we've done this pub use front of house serving?
Yeah, we're doing both things at once. So we can use front of house in here, but we're also exporting it. So we
No,
can
but
do...
can you just use serving? You should be able to just use serving now
Oh yeah, we can.
without the front of house. Right. Okay.
We can
cool,
use the
cool,
serving
cool.
module, but there's no value here. But we don't have anything exported from serving, so we can't really do much about it here. So let's take payment public. And then we can take payment. And in this
Is
other
there a
file,
way that you can tell it to make everything inside a module public so you don't have to type pub a million times?
I don't think so.
That would have been convenient.
Ooh. Maybe. I'll look that up. Hold on.
I feel like that would go against the
It
principles.
does, but
Yeah, I
but
mean,
they
I would
let you
expect
do
it to be a
weird stuff.
completely separate command, but
Typically, you're going to have some things that are private to a module. Otherwise, the modules are just less helpful in general. They're still helpful, but yeah, at this point, how would we grab
I don't see
function.
anything.
How do we call take payment?
From main.
What was the question?
Yeah, so how do we call take payment now that we have exported front of house serving? I want to call take
Just
payment
call
in
serving?
main. Yeah, I want to call take payment.
We
can't
called
call serving
eat
as a
food
module.
up there.
Oh.
Food has what in it? We gotta call it from. Right, eat food.
Just
and take
call
payment is in
eat
there.
food that does that.
That's true.
Or do you mean call it directly?
I want to call serving. Well, take payment. Yeah, that is part of it. But I want to call take payment directly. I want access to the serving module.
Just go down to main and say serving take payment with some colons in there somewhere, wherever you feel like it. Whatever feels good.
Yeah. So we take payment and it works.
Nice.
And we
I
don't
like
need
it.
to
love
know
taking-
anything about the implementation details here. We know chapter 7 exports front of house and has, well, actually, I guess we do figure out what it's a part of, but we just know
Why do we
it's
need that?
chapter 7 serving.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I like it. We didn't have to write out the whole situation.
So wait, why can't we just? Oh, okay. Okay, I see. Okay.
And now we can answer our question of if we do a glob export, what do we get out of it?
Oh, say what?
I
Oh,
don't
like-
remember what's in serving. Serve order, take payment. Oh, you can just do take payments in public.
Mhm.
Yeah, here's everything in there. So we get
Just take payment. Yeah.
all of these exports. So we have eat food, front of house, and take payment. And those are all just pulled in from there. So now take payment. But we can also import it as chapter 7 front of house serving because they both go to the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice.
Neat.
Yep.
That looks very handy.
So looking again. Oh, I can't do that in here, I forgot. Oh, I don't need the chapter 7. We can run it again and see all of our permissions. So we have back of house, which is available in the crate, and appetizer, breakfast, summer. These are all public. Seat at table is only public to itself. Nothing else can access
Oh,
seat at table. Like if I go in here and I try to access seat at table, it works. But only within this module.
So okay, but public self basically just means it's private because
yeah.
by default you can always access something that's like a sibling anyway.
Yeah, self means it's this module. I misinterpreted it for a quick second and explained it weirdly. But yes, self means the current module we're in, so hosting. Everything in hosting has access to this, and then pub means everything that has access to this top module, etc.
And public self means private, actually.
Yeah, public within its own module is as private as it gets. Yes.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Like back of house is public to the whole crate. But yeah, as private as it gets.
Hold on, let me go make a PR and complain about that phrasing for the tree command or whatever that is.
I love software developer logic. Not quite human logic.
So
anymore.
if we have hi here now, can we call serve order? Is that a thing we can do? Can we call eat food within hi?
Wait, I forgot what hi was.
Oh, at this point, hi is a module within serving.
I would say, yeah. You'd say serve order and take order. Is that what you were trying to call?
Yeah, like what if we want to call serve order? Can we call it even though
Think
it's within
so,
a different module?
They're all siblings under.
Are they?
Hi is a module in serving.
Pi is not a
Oh.
sibling. It's in a different module within
In
here.
another module. But A can access it, right? So like another module, like that one can access take order and serve order because it's a sibling. And I feel like it should pass all that down to any of its children inside the another module. So I'd say yeah.
Yep, that's the answer. I do have to import it, but it does work.
Oh, you have to call interesting. Because it's in a module, like a nested module. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't believe I could just say serve order. Serve order. Yeah, it's gonna say, I don't know what this is. So we can import either one of these, or we could qualify it. They both work, or we can generate a function.
Cool.
So here's another use case of super.
Mm-hmm.
But half the time it's just gonna do it for you. So, but it's good to know what it all does. Okay, I think we are missing an important part that we should definitely do, which
Well, then let's
is,
do it.
I mentioned right at the beginning that we can also export these to different files. So does anyone know how we would do that? Without
Man, I
the,
really hope there's like an export situation.
the magic
Oh,
code action.
what?
There's nothing there. Don't worry about it.
Hold on.
But we referring extract as a nothing.
Oh yeah, this is a code action. We can just click extract and it will do it for us, but we're gonna do it manually first.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I guess you'll just copy and paste it to another file.
But how would we go about that?
What do you mean? How do you
Okay, Control A.
control
C.
V? Go down to the end of the brackets and hit D to delete it, and then go to the other file and hit P to paste it.
So you want me to delete all of it and then open another file. So what do I call the file though?
Whatever you want.
Whatever I want.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
No.
Whatever you want. RS. Is that how we do
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, that's what I meant. Whatever you want. .rs.
Okay,
I'm
and we're
so
gonna paste
sorry,
this in here.
Jacob. I am not helpful.
Okay. So
I do
let's see.
participate though.
Does this work? Can we
Oh no, you missed the outside scope. What are you doing?
the outside scope? We want the everything in here? In
Of
lib?
course. Of course.
I can't tell if you're joking or not.
I don't know. I don't know
Okay.
what you need
So-
in the external module so that it'll okay.
It's called front of house.rs. And then to access it
Okay.
within this file, we just do that. We could call mod front of house.
Or hear me out. You could name it whatever you want .rs, and then we just change the import names here. Do whatever you want.
Oh, we can't do as here. But I mean, we could call it whatever you want RS, but I don't think that's you
I
can
think
do
you
it.
should. I think you should.
Are you saying that's a bad naming convention? Is that
You
what you're trying to
can
get at?
point it to another file, but it would be very confusing, and I don't know why you would do it. But yeah, we
No, hear me out. Just change the file name. Just change it.
I think we're going down a rabbit hole, and we are already.
I don't think it is.
I think it's a rabbit hole, so we're moving on. So we have
Dang it. I'm sorry.
front of
Forgive
house
me.
RS. What if we want to make another module in here? Like we have hosting and serving, and we want to deal with it somewhere else. So how do we make these modules files?
But you would
thing
just do
you
the
did
same thing,
before.
right?
But how would we know it's a submodule of front of house at that point?
Oh, you have to make. Can't you just put them in the front of house file?
Yeah, we did. It's in front of house, but
Oh,
what if
this
we
is where we are.
what if we want another
Oh.
file?
Wait, for what?
For submodules, we say hosting's getting too big. We would like it in another file. How would we go about that?
Oh.
Oh, well.
Can we
You
extract
can make
them
another
yet?
You can make another directory and then use a use statement to import them in here into the front of house.
So make a directory and import into front of house.
Right. So
Like a subdirectory.
where we are right here. Yeah. So we have front of house file, right?
Mhm.
So make front of house a directory, and then move our front of house.rs inside that directory, and then call it mod.rs. And then I think that's what I read in the book.
Create a subdirectory in chapter 7 called front of house. And then change front of
Yeah.
house RS to mod.rs and drop
Well,
it
I think
into the
it
front of
needs-
house
I-
folder.
I think
That
it needs
is
to be
a
in
valid way to
source.
do it, but it is a more legacy way of doing it from the 2018 edition. Because if you do that, then
What?
every single module ends up being called mod.rs, and then you are very confused when you try to search in your editor and you see mod.rs 50 times.
Well, they shouldn't.
Oh,
have
good,
led
because
with
I was
that in
prepared
the
to be
chapter.
sad.
But
Yeah,
now we
they
have a
shouldn't have
better
led
way
with
because we're in 2021 edition. So
Okay, well, enlighten us, please. Show us the way.
I made the editor do it for me because I am lazy. But
Oh.
you make a
What?
front of house directory and a hosting.
That's what I said.
That's what you
Wait,
said. You said
wait.
make mod RS.
Wait, undo.
I said, well,
undo what
okay.
you
I
just
started
did.
out right. I said make front of house directory, and then I said mod rs because I wasn't aware that you could do anything else because I read what was in the chat.
I blinked and I missed what happened.
Okay, it's gone. Goodbye. Okay, so I'll
Okay,
do it
now
differently.
say what you're doing out loud.
Okay, we are going into our source directory. We have front of house.rs. We are
Uh-huh.
adding a directory called front of house.
Uh-huh.
Then within front of house, we are going
Yes.
to add a new file called hosting.rs.
Uh-huh.
And then inside of here, we are going to take the contents of hosting,
Uh-huh.
put them in hosting. And then,
Oh, we're doing the copy and pasting thing.
yeah, we're copying and pasting.
Oh, I want to
And-
know the magic button you pushed.
Oh, the magic button. I will show you the magic button. So then we go to here. In VS Code is control dot by default on Windows, but it is
Sweet.
code actions. What is
Uh-huh.
it? Called code actions. You can click this little magnifying glass. It does the same thing, and it's a part of the LSP where you can say extract module to file, and it pulls it into a file.
Sweet.
So we can do that. Now we have front of house RS, and for review, how to do this with back of house if we want to make that its own file.
Can you go straight to the extract thing right away, or do you have to do the directory yourself first?
You don't have to. You can just click extract and it does it.
Magic. I love it.
So cool.
Yeah, like bam, it's done. Back of house is not a directory at this point, but it doesn't have to be. So if we go to back of house right now, and we want to, oh, I guess there's no other modules within back of house, to be fair. So let's make a cool module called I don't know.
Perfect. Now we're engaging in those bad name
What?
conventions.
And then it's gonna tell me everything is horribly misspelled, and we say extract. It turns it into its own folder, and we have I don't know that
That's
RS.
awesome.
Perfect.
I can
It's
do this in
beautiful.
Vim. This is great.
It's magic.
Whoa, yeah, it's a part of the LSP. It's not like a magic VS Code thing. So
That's awesome.
But since you brought it up, you might see it in the wild as well. The other way of doing it, if we want a different module. Oh, another way you can do it with VS Code, or I mean just with code actions, is we call it, here's a module. This module doesn't exist. So we can create a module at I don't know how to pronounce this. Forgive me.
Yeah.
So we could do it
At random string.
the current way, which makes it easier to understand, in my opinion. Or we can do it in mod.rs. So let's do it in the more legacy way for fun. And it creates
Let's
a
teach us the old
directory
ways.
with mod.rs. I personally would not recommend mixing and matching. I would say pick one or the other. But it does indeed work. Oh, it's not seeing it, so I'm gonna restart my LSP and see if it fixes it. I think it worked. Yeah? Okay.
Nice.
It's happy now.
That's a
Man,
thing
I
of
love
beauty.
Rust. This is great.
Yay, it's so happy. So, yeah.
Yeah,
I
we
would-
don't know the word either.
I'd recommend doing it this way so you don't have mod or rest 50 times in a row. But you are free
Yes.
to do it. They both still work if you'd like. Because
Yeah,
Rust,
I don't want to
being
see mod
backwards
RS a
compatible.
million times either. That will make me upset.
So, one other thing we can do, or just to do before we finish it out, is let's import something that has the same type as something else. So if we go to standard, format, and then result. Result, of course, is super common, so it's going to be in almost every crate, but there's multiple of these. So
Yeah,
what are...
stop that.
Sorry, what did you say?
Stop that. The same. Is it a variable name or is it just like a Rust thing?
Result? Oh, it's a Rust thing. That's how it does error handling typically.
Poop.
So
Okay.
yeah, you have a result. It's an enum with either okay or error. If it's okay, then it's whatever you expect it to be, and if it's an error, it's whatever error you expect.
Okay. Yeah, that could be the issue.
Yep. So they're both the same thing. So
That's how we've created an issue.
it doesn't know how to do it. So how could we go about this if we want to use both?
Use an alias.
How do I do that?
The as keyword after the name. Yep.
Nice, so-
TLUSER. Nope, not that.
What do you
Not
want to
that.
call it?
Call it ELUSER.
What?
Spell result backwards, please.
Oh.
Yes.
TLUSER.
Yep, there you
Perfect.
go. Cool.
Yep. So that works, and we can now use this as Teluser if we would
Perfect.
like to. So we can do it,
Excellent.
and we are happy. I am interested in seeing what weird code actions we have. Oh, perfect. We can remove it, remove all
If
unused
there
imports,
wasn't-
or use as to change it to other result. Whoa,
Yeah,
how
nice.
convenient.
Result. Another result. Yeah. Makes sense.
I liked my name better, to be honest.
I love your name. That was perfect.
Another way we could do it is if we decided we would like to do we just like to qualify it everywhere we use it. So we could do IO and format, and then use
Like
it wherever
IO
we need
result,
them.
format result.
Yep, wherever
Mhm.
we need them, we could qualify them.
Do I remember right that Rust doesn't do variables?
Rust doesn't do variables.
Not for imports.
Okay.
You do variables like for other things, but you just can't assign imports to a variable.
Okay.
Yeah, Rust definitely has variables. Like I can say let hi equals 9, and this is a variable.
Okay, cool.
It's
just
upsetting
don't
that that's
import
an
them that
integer
way.
and not a string.
It is very upsetting, yes.
Why is it upsetting that hi is not a string?
I has to be a string. So
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't make the rules.
Okay, so
That's just what they are.
So it's a string. Obviously.
there you go. Now it's a string.
Okay, that's okay.
Hmm.
So we are happy now.
That's questionable is what that is.
Questionable. I'll also make it into a string.
It just you
I'd rather
do
you
that.
spell it 9 N-I-N-E.
That's why.
I have to spell
Then it'd
it.
be okay.
So you want me to do like that?
Yeah. There you go.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Perfect.
That's fine.
My brain is happier.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, cool. No, but I like the alias thing.
Whoa, we got
That is super handy.
the lib. I'll rerun it again. But now we have our module structure, and we can look at it in a nice table. You can install this
This
with
is
cargo
lovely.
modules. This is a separate
just-
package.
What's the
I'm
command?
super into this situation. Here.
Module cargo modules structure.
You have to install cargo modules.
Hmm.
So that You
I love where we can see you type out everything.
See, doesn't it make you happy?
Okay.
Great.
And if you have it, you need 1.74 of Rust to install it. And once you do, you can run cargo modules structure. Or if you're confused on how to run cargo modules, you can just run it and it tells you all of the stuff. Like you can ask it for help, orphans, dependencies, or structure.
I'm sorry. I was so caught up in actually watching like the screen cap like typing. I forget what the actual command was to install.
I
Oh.
wrote it down in the chat.
Oh, thank
It's
you.
This cargo-modules is the name.
Thank you.
I got you.
There we go. Installed. Let's go. Oh my gosh, it installs so many things, or compiles so many things. It's compiling everything.
True?
Why? Why does it need so many?
I can't tell you. I did not look at the internals of the project.
It's a mystery.
What?
These things are. You just go with it, man.
Okay, but
You either want the convenience or you don't.
we've been at it for
I see,
an
I see.
hour and 35 minutes, so I think it's time to end it off or answer any final questions. Does anybody have any final questions? I don't hear anything,
What-
so... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
If you really want one, I have one, but it's completely unrelated.
Oh, okay.
So.
I have so many, but I feel like they're probably answered by chapters 1 through 6.
Probably. The last chapter explained result.
Yeah, I think I'll review those first, and if I still have questions, I'll bring them next week.
Okay, does anyone have any questions that are relevant to the chapter? Otherwise, I will be glad to answer your irrelevant questions later.
Nope, I am okay at taking notes.
Perfect.
I should take notes.
Don't worry, I don't remember them. I have to keep on going back. That's why I use Anki, but I'm not good at Anki.
I think it would be good
That's
to
what- that's-
practice by just like making some modules, like figure it out. I didn't
Yeah,
go
I should try to
over-
use modules in my advent of code
Yeah,
stuff. That would be good.
Awesome. Does anyone else just like follow the documents and then just tinker away until they actually lead on to another part of the documents, like trail of crumbs, just to learn, as you're going? Or is that just me?
I mean,
No,
that's how
like-
it goes. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Like build stuff, break stuff, figure it out.
Yeah, that's how you learn stuff. Like
Mhm.
usually you have a project and it's just you need to know something and you look up and you find it somewhere in the docs or elsewhere.
Yep.
Gotcha.
One
I
thing
was
leads
just
to another.
I was just wondering. Some people recommend staying with like a certain chapter or section until you have it down pat and then move on. But I just my curiosity gets the better of me, so I'm glad I'm not alone.
I
Oh,
wouldn't
totally
recommend
not.
it
Yeah,
personally.
I
Like,
wouldn't-
This is so
yeah.
tough that you're gonna go through the book the first time and be like, I don't know what I even did here, and then you can go over it again, do some projects, figure it out, come back, and maybe you'll
Yeah, that's what I
understand.
was thinking.
This is like my 4th time trying to go through the book or something, and I get it a lot better now, but it was tough the first time around.
That makes
Yeah.
me feel so much better because I do that while I'm working. Well, when I had a job, I should say, just constantly back and forth between the docs, the work, and the other docs. So
Yeah, my best skill is figuring out how to find answers, not having all the answers.
that's a good way to put it. I'm going to use that in an interview. Thank you. I'm going to steal that.
Yeah.
I don't know if that goes over well in interviews though.
I want to say it though. Because you don't know everything, right? You don't know everything, but you can figure out the answer. So
I know.
that's the way I
everything.
think of it. Except Jasper.
Jagan would know better than I would whether or not that's a good answer. I don't know if it's done me good or not, but as much as I've tried to put everything in my head, it's not going as well as I would like it to.
Me every day. I feel that on a personal level.
Right? I keep trying.
Sorry, going on a tangent here. Sorry, that's my fault.
Yes, I will pull us back. So I heard no
No.
questions, but now is time for feedback. So anything you like seeing, anything you didn't like seeing, anything you wish you had seen but did not.
I want to see
Um,
more cool code actions.
Personally, I do like how you followed the book examples because then I could, follow along step by step or recall back as to how I did the examples myself. And it has pushed me to like understand what you're doing with your own examples because it's not one-to-one comparison, and so it makes my mind activate. I don't know about activate, but it makes it more challenging to recall things, which is good when learning, but also can be difficult. So that's just my personal experience.
Yeah, the last one I tried to go really hard into borrowing, which made it tough. So now I'll go less into borrowing, but I'll still throw 1 or 2 examples at the end of the chapter. This one didn't have
Awesome.
any borrowing anything because it was just modules, but we'll see.
Don't worry, it'll be back.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. Common collections, it means definitely. Whoa,
Yeah.
chapter 9 error handling with result.
Yay!
Writing
To
automated
panic or
tests.
not to panic. So philosophical.
Oh yeah, generally also, I think it's best when you have a binary crate to make a library crate and then only have as much in your main function as you can easily read. So if you can read it top to bottom and understand, that's typically a good main function in my mind.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense. Well, I had a good time. I don't know if that's what you were going for, but I had one.
I hoped it was enjoyable. Yes, I intend for it to not be terrible.
It was good. It is always.
Nice. And then our homework is just chapter 8. We're going to go over common collection. So it looks like vectors, strings, and hash maps.
All right.
Well, it sounds super
Alright.
fun.
I'm going to end off the recording here.